I think that it is one of their tactics for scaring us and making us think that this is going to go on forever.
Striking Providence workers may lose their health coverage next week if they don't return back to work. Why folks on the picket line say they are not budging until a deal is reached.
And Wednesday, it's called Exclusion Day. That means Oregon students without their vaccinations will be sent home, where you can go to make sure your student is up to date.
And today is President's Day. We'll tell you what's closed and what's open.
And we have another weather impact alert this morning just for the Cascades. Heavy snow is expected in the area. What you'll need to know if you're heading up to the mountain today.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Monday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Ashley Grams, filling in for Drew Carney this morning. We are in a weather impact alert for the Cascades. Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis are standing by for a look at the forecast and the impacts. Rod.
Yeah, we have a live photographer up there showing us pictures of the snow-covered roads at Government Camp. The snow level is sitting just below the elevation at 3,500 feet. It's probably one of those mornings you go around a corner and you go from wet pavement just like that to snow cover. Now, the good news is the storm warning is up until 4, but temperatures are actually right around freezing. So I would expect improving travel conditions if you can hold off until probably 10 o'clock or after this morning if you can. Here's a look at precipitation. Snow out over the Blues, a mix of wintry weather out toward Pendleton. It's rain in the gorge and rain over the Coast Range, and just solid, steady rain, as you can see, from Salem, Portland, up into Kelso, Longview. So rain gear on this morning with the drops falling. We're at 43 degrees. Temperature's not an issue. They're actually pretty comfortable. We'll be 48 at noon. This is the wettest part of our day. This afternoon, the rain will become increasingly scattered with temperatures right around 50 degrees. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. I want to pick it up in downtown Portland right now. We've got some sort of a fire response here on the west side of the Burnside Bridge. It's kind of difficult to make out, but you can see some flashing lights there. Bit of a light show there on the, again, downtown Portland West Burnside. Again, just off the Burnside Bridge. It looks like traffic is getting by. I'm working to get more details on this. As soon as I have them, I'll bring them right to you here on Sunrise. All right, one other trouble spot. Looks like we've got a disabled vehicle here on the southbound Markham Bridge, right lane. Looks like that truck is now pulled over to the right shoulder. Looks like maybe that's creating a little bit of local slowing, but otherwise we're in pretty good shape. A reminder, of course, as Rod talked about, the snow up high, chains or traction tires required. Highway 35 and Highway 26. Ladies, here's a live look in the Parkdale area. A lot of folks heading up to the mountain to play in the snow today. Just remember, chains, traction tires, you got to have them. Otherwise, it could cost you. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Chris. The Providence healthcare workers strike has entered its second month, and this morning there's no end in sight.
Yeah, now those striking can expect to lose their health care benefits by the end of the month. Celine Stevens heard from Providence and spoke with healthcare workers to learn more.
Last week, Providence sent a message to all its caregivers stating that health care benefits will lapse for those striking on February 28th. Now, some workers I spoke with Sunday say they are trying to figure out next steps.
You know, we've gone without a few paychecks now, and resources are stretching thin.
Weeks have passed since the Providence healthcare worker strike began in early January, and nurses from all 8 hospitals are still on the picket lines, with the majority rejecting the latest tentative agreement from Providence on February 7th.
Providence were upset that the tentative agreement they pushed to us did not get approved.
I think that it is one of their tactics for scaring us and making us think that this is going to go on forever.
With the strike in its second month, Providence sent out a message to caregivers last week. Given the strike's extended timeline, healthcare benefits will lapse for striking caregivers on February 28th.
I insure my partner, my husband, and my daughter, and we're going to get all our healthcare needs taken care of before the end of the month.
While some plan to use COBRA, a form of continuation healthcare coverage, others are forced to turn to the Oregon Health Plan, and for those facing financial strain, they say this makes a tough situation even tougher.
Some are taking out loans, using their credit cards, and, with the health insurance benefits coming to an end, we're trying to figure out where we're going to go.
Oregon Nurses Association did advise members before Providence's decision to end coverage that their coverage would extend at least until the end of February and provided additional insurance options. Providence also stated those who return to work by February 28th will not see benefits suspended. Those I spoke with today say that's not in their plans.
No, I'm not thinking about crossing the line. I'm going to be out here until we get it settled.
Providence says the suspension of benefits will apply to all of those who do not return to work, which would include the St. Vincent physicians who approved their latest contract but are still striking in solidarity with St. Vincent nurses. Providence also said in a statement that it is continuing to work with federal mediators to schedule additional mediation sessions. Celine Stevens, KGW News.
Oregon parents have just 2 more days to make sure that their kids are up to date on vaccines. If students don't have updated records, they could be sent home from school.
Thomas Schultz joins us now from Southeast Portland. Thomas, remind us where families can find clinics to update these records.
Yeah, well, Ashley and China, they're all over the place. Here in Southeast Portland at the Boys and Girls Club, this is going to be a walk-in free clinic on Wednesday morning. Beaverton and Tigard are also going to have walk-in free clinics tomorrow and Wednesday as well. And under state law, all preschoolers, kids in private school, public school, or in Head Start must have documentation showing they're up to date on required immunizations. If they don't, they're going to be sent home from school on Wednesday. These pop-up clinics come as state data shows 14% of kindergartners did not complete all school-required vaccines in 2024. Oregon also has the 4th highest percent of kindergartners with exemptions from vaccines nationwide, and health officials are concerned some illnesses like measles and whooping cough could be on the rise.
We are seeing recurrence of illnesses that weren't necessarily eradicated, but the incidence had decreased quite a bit.
And officials say that once those illnesses come back into classrooms, they're able to spread very rapidly into the community among family and friends. Guys.
Thank you so much, Thomas. Washington lawmakers are considering charging drivers for every mile they drive. They say it's because gas taxes, which fund road projects, don't bring in as much as they used to. The new proposal would charge drivers 2.6 cents for every mile, and it would come in phases. Under phase 1, starting in 2027, EV and hybrid drivers could opt in, and in exchange, their registration fees would be waived. Then in 2029, phase 2 would make it mandatory for those drivers and voluntary for owners of gas cars that get better than 20 miles per gallon. Then eventually, this would be mandatory for all vehicles. Opponents say the state should look for other funding sources.
If we don't begin this, I think we can have the strong likelihood is that we're going to continue the pattern that we've been in with having shortfalls even more frequently in our transportation funding.
I imagine you have to take the leap at some point, but if you read the bill, it's a long time to implement this and a voluntary system and how they're going to do the crediting back against the gas. It's complicated. So I know that from our side of the aisle, there's a lot of opposition to this for a myriad of reasons.
Drivers would not have to pay both the usage charge and the gas tax. They would have to submit odometer readings every year.
The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office is investigating this morning after a woman was hit and killed by an Amtrak train yesterday. Deputies were called to the Union Pacific Rail line near Southeast 82nd Avenue just after 10 yesterday morning. They believe a woman was walking on or near the tracks when she was hit by a northbound train. The victim's identity has not been released.
And take a look at this. The Clark County Sheriff's Office is using new technology to catch suspects who try to get away. The office has grappler police bumpers on 25 cars. This video of a recent chase shows how it works. Look closely between the suspect car and the deputy car. It uses a spring-loaded net to snare the rear wheels of a suspect's vehicle and wrap around the axle, bringing everything to a stop. In this video, Clark County deputies helped Vancouver officers stop a driver who tried to escape.
In Northeast Portland, the city says it will keep the Sunderland RV Save Park site open through at least the end of June. That's after it was originally set to close sometime this spring. The site is temporarily home to about 70 people and provides a secure location to park and access to basic services. The city council will now make decisions about its future moving forward.
And today is President's Day. That means some mail services will be unavailable. USPS will be closed for the holiday. FedEx will have modified service. That means you might be able to request on-call and drop box pickups in certain areas. UPS will be open today. All right, your time now is 6:09 in the morning. The Cascades are under a winter storm warning. Eric Patterson giving us a live look from the mountain at exactly what it looks like right now. It is
very, very white out there, and it seems to be coming down, but inches on top of inches will be coming down. Rod, how much do you think it will snow in the Cascades?
Well, they've already picked up over a foot, and they could get another 8 to 12 today, so that's a good 2-foot total snowstorm. The worst of the conditions, pretty high confidence, will be this morning in terms of the snow-covered roads. You just saw them there in the live shot. This afternoon, I expect temperatures to be near 32 to above at pass level. And if that's the case, ODOT typically gets that pavement down to pretty clean shape. So if you can, it's one of those days, if you can postpone your trip until late morning, probably best to do so in terms of finding safer conditions to be driving up there. The winter storm warning itself is up until 4 p.m., the purple color in the Cascades. Here are those above freezing temperatures. Government Camp 35 today. They're at 32 right now, so it's not terribly cold by their standards. West breezes and snow level today just above Government Camp at 3,500 feet. All right, also snow out over the Blues, kind of a mix out toward Pendleton. It's been rain in the gorge and rain over the Coast Range, and it is rain in the valley. Look at this. Steady, widespread rain. A lot of heavy rain pockets being depicted by radar, but also some gentle rain areas coming across as well. It's a steady rain morning that breaks into scattered showers this afternoon. So watch out for puddling or ponding out there. 43 is the temperature. We have picked up over 1/2 of an inch of total rainfall going back to yesterday. Here are the temperatures outside. Troutdale's colder at 38, but it's 45 in Battleground and Tigard. Salem's at 49, 46 degrees in McMinnville. Not much wind. It's a light south breeze out there at this hour. Later today with the afternoon scattered showers, about 50 coast and valley. 40 central Oregon. All of the valleys out east also expected to warm above freezing. Here's the 7-day forecast. Notice one of the headlines, every single day this week expected to be 50 or better. We have morning rain breaking in scattered showers. Dry tonight, dry tomorrow morning, and then rain picks up tomorrow afternoon. The next storm front with gusty south winds comes in Wednesday morning. Here's Chris.
As you mentioned, Rod, wet for your morning commute. Not sure if that's to blame, either a disabled vehicle or a fender bender here. This is I-5 northbound for perspective at home. This right smack dab in the middle of your screen is the Burnside Bridge, and it's the ramp from I-5 north to Interstate 84 eastbound. So we've got some local slowing getting around that. I'll step out of the way. This is the live look again from our Rose City Sky Cameraman. Obviously, ladies, you can see lots of water on the roads this morning. So just be prepared for that. Probably take you a few extra minutes to get around. So far, this is our first trouble spot of the morning commute.
Thanks for that reminder, Chris.